You know, if you're watching this YouTube channel, you probably are a pretty big hockey fan. Like, I think that's a pretty good assumption to make, because when it comes to the people that comment on these videos, the people that watch these videos, a lot of you are kind of in deep into this sport, and you acknowledge what goes on in the league, and as a result, you're here watching videos of some guy in his bedroom talking about said sport. So you know as well as I do that now is the time to be very, very careful when we talk about these things, because what I'm talking about right here, CLAUDE GIROUX, Florida, a potential trade, 1,000 games in the books, however many left in the playoffs and beyond, this topic can change like that. So quickly things can go out on the dime and flip the switch, so we're gonna make our video today just talking about what we heard yesterday, that I think is just probably the biggest topic in the hockey world right now, so bear with me if anything changes, if anything goes out there and does not come true the way we're talking about it, but we're going over on the Twitter and going over to a Twitter account that I actually hadn't heard of until yesterday. This account was then verified by the Friedmans and the other NHL insiders of the world that we all have seen before, but take a look at this. Anthony Sanfilippo, he went out there and talked about this on Twitter about how after the Flyers game yesterday against the Nashville Predators, this is the latest scoop on the team. CLAUDE GIROUX, who finished up his 1,000 NHL game and who had himself a pretty emotional showcase in the process, will not be accompanying the Flyers to Ottawa. He is staying back while Chuck Fletcher puts the finishing touches on a trade. A deal is not final yet, but this person, who is indeed a co-host of the Snow and Goalie show and who is a Flyers writer for CrossingBroad.com, says that it's going to be with the Florida Panthers. The Flyers were considering offers from 4 other teams, and you know what? We're going to go ahead and read this in a different video. We're going to go ahead and make another video about that, but like, holy. So, word comes out about 12, 14, 13 hours ago that CLAUDE GIROUX will indeed go to the Florida Panthers, and that the final deals have been, the final details on the deal are just being worked out. We also had Pierre LeBrun, who went out there and said this: "No CLAUDE GIROUX trade yet, sources say. He won't play Friday or Sunday. The Flyers will hold him out until the situation is resolved through the deadline. Florida remains very interested, and I think Colorado remains in the mix too. We will see what Friday brings." We then had ourselves Elliotte Friedman, who went out there and shared himself his 2 cents on the entire situation, because, you know, of course, you gotta get the bigger names involved in this thing as well. This is his tweet on the matter as Ant Sanfilippo reported last night. That's a pretty difficult at right there at first glance. CLAUDE GIROUX did not go to Ottawa with the team. If not done by Sunday, he won't play versus the Islanders either. All eyes are on the Florida Panthers, but Colorado has not given up. I think it will be the Panthers, but as I write this, the Panthers have not made an offer that has Philly saying yes just yet. And you know, that's one of those things where I kind of say, duh. Like, of course the Panthers haven't given the Flyers an offer that they would say yes to, because if they would, it would have been done by now. They would have actually made the trade call. He would have been on a plane to Florida instead of sticking around there in Ottawa. But when you go over some rumored pieces as to what could be sent away, Ant Sanfilippo also has himself a tweet that says this: "Owen Tippett was held out of the Charlotte Checkers game tonight, according to Darren Dreger. That could have been in anticipation of a CLAUDE GIROUX trade." The other name I heard was Florida's first-round pick from last year's NHL Draft, Mackie Samoskevich. Now, let's go over both these guys here, just so we can get the rundown out of the way, so just in case this does happen, I can have the luxury of saying, oh, just go to this video here, and in turn, that would boost my ad views, because twice the views is twice the amount of revenue. Yeah, I'm kind of joking about that. Half joking? Okay, no, it's true. But you get what I mean. Owen Tippett is a guy that was taken in the first round by the Panthers back in 2017, 10th overall, and back in that time frame, Playing for the Mississauga Steelheads, he was seen as just this absolutely lethal sniper for Team Canada at the World Juniors as well. He displayed those skill sets very nicely. He's got an absolute laser of a wrister, but over the past few seasons, he has sort of developed more of a playmaking edge to his game as well. Now, a lot of people would go out there and point out how Owen Tippett, in the limited NHL time he has had so far, has not really been that top 6 bona fide scoring winger like the Panthers thought they were getting back when they drafted him in 2017. Now, the development curve has been a little bit slowed down for Owen Tippett, but he still is on the right path in my opinion. Could he be a lot better than he is right now? Yeah, I guess so, but he is now over a point per game in the AHL for the first time in his career, and sure, you don't like to see that at 23 years old, you'd rather like to see that at 21 or 20 years old, but it is what it is. It bees what it bees. And this guy right here, as a 6'1", 207-pound forward, was held out of the Charlotte Checkers lineup, mostly for precautionary reasons, as speculated by people in the media. Same thing with Mark Giordano, same thing with Nick Leddy, same thing with, who the heck was it that recently got traded? I completely forgot. It escaped my mind. Ben Sherratt, that's who it was, yes. And so, Florida's going out there with an idea that might see Owen Tippett and a Mackie Samoskevich be somewhat of a package of a return for Claude Giroux. Now, Mackie Samoskevich is a really interesting player himself, but because he was only drafted last year, I wouldn't be surprised if he isn't really the most popular player in the world. We're going over onto Elite Prospects here and reading the scouting report because I think they sum up his game pretty well. But Samoskevich, as we have noted, 2021 NHL Entry Draft prospect, 24th overall by the Panthers, 19 years old, 5'11", 192, as a right-wing center. He'll blend pass receptions into highly creative dangles around defenders, with top-hand control of his stick pushed out from his body and quick twitch wrists to string it all together. He manages space exceptionally well, constantly scanning for the positions of his teammates and opponents alike. And he uses that mental map of the ice to plan his every maneuver 1 or 2 plays ahead of the competition. Now, I don't know about you, but when I hear the idea of a player going out there and thinking the game 2-3 steps ahead, I personally think of Wayne Gretzky, but I think that might be a little bit of a hyperbolic comparison there. Either way, Samoskevich was playing in Chicago last season in the USHL. He was a point per game over there. Now he's under a point per game for the University of Michigan. But as we have known, because we've been watching NCAA hockey the past few years, Michigan's a really good team. Like, they're ungodly good. Beniers, Hughes, Johnson, Bordelot, Power. Samoskevich is one of many players on this team that is of high-profile status, so it's not surprising that he is not the top dog because there are just so many other great players on this team. Either way, though, Samoskevich and Tippett potentially being included in a trade for Claude Giroux, in my opinion, it's not enough. I do think you have to add on a first-round pick or maybe a second as well, because Claude Giroux is not just your average everyday NHL rental. He is literally Claude Giroux. He embodies the Philadelphia Flyers hockey spirit over the past decade, and a lot of Flyers fans are not going to let him go for nothing. Or, not nothing. Samoskevich and this other player, Owen Tippett, are not nothing, but you get what I mean, right? You have to have some high-profile draft picks involved there, too. We already mentioned this a few videos ago, but Claude Giroux is probably going to be the most expensive rental that we have seen in a very long time. And with Colorado also being in the mix as well, I could totally understand there being a bidding war of some sorts for this player. Now, Florida does not have a first-round pick this season. They do not have a first-round pick next season because they gave that away in the Sherratt trade. So, who knows what is going to be in store here for the Panthers when they make this Claude Giroux trade. And I say when they make this Giroux trade because I'm being very liberal with this conversation. Friedman believes it's going to happen with Florida. I believe it was Carolyn Cameron yesterday who said on Sportsnet that she believes it's also going to be Florida. And so, with all the stuff going on, Florida seems to be the team, man. Florida seems to be it. And for the Flyers, they already had their 1,000-game ceremony and grand goodbye, the emotional farewell with Claude Giroux and the fans the other night. And that was a lot more emotional than I thought it was going to be heading into it. But I guess with all the trade rumors and everything going on, a lot of Flyers fans saying on Twitter, social media, Reddit, yeah, thank you so much for your service, Giroux. It's been an honor the past 1,000 games. I was kind of thinking to myself, yeah, no, that's not usually what the fan base responds to when you see a guy going out there get 1,000 games played. This is how they respond when they know that guy is going to get traded. So Whether that happens today, tomorrow, whatever, we'll see. But for now, this appears to be the scoop. Samoskevich, Owen Tippett, Claude Giroux, pieces that we have seen get involved in this discussion. Talk to me in the comments all your thoughts about a Claude Giroux trade over to the Florida Panthers. Are you excited to see them going out there, win a Stanley Cup, eliminate Toronto in the first round? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.